What up? What up? What up? What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of college basketball's first half. So, sit here and see what's going on with everybody. We are rocking. Got one live viewer. Let's get a couple more in here. But let's talk about if y'all follow the account, Twitter account at Parley Tees. We got a W under our belt already. And I don't even know if I posted all my games today, to be honest with you. I had one of those nights last night. Yeah, I did. Okay, good. I had one of those nights last night. The lines weren't coming. They all didn't come out at once. The first half, so I was waiting on some. I didn't really get them in until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in the car going to the casino to put them in. So, but I did post a parlay that I put in, and we got one leg down. So let's keep going and get the rest of them. See who's in here today. Speak up. Let me know if you're here. But if not, we'll just keep it rolling from jump here. So first game we're going to, the Penn State covered first half, covered full game, so we're good on that. I didn't even need the money line on that, but something just told me that I should, it was at 2.5. I could see that game being a 2-point game, so I went money line on it, put minus 148. Ended up a 3-point game, I believe. No, 5-point game. Sorry. So that covered. I don't know what it ended up closing at. It ended up closing at 2. Okay. So I just, I guess I spent a little juice that I didn't need to spend, but that's all right. When you spend the juice and you win, you get it back. It's all good. So no big deal on that. Next game I have is St. Francis and Butler. This is a game that, you've got two good defenses. And in this game, let me pull it up here real quick. Both these teams, I shouldn't say two good defense. You have one really good defense and one team that isn't a really big scorer. So, with this Butler defense, it's another situation where I expect, like yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I said when Houston was playing that the team would be lucky to get like 15 points or whatever. I don't even know what that ended up at, to be honest with you, but it was somewhere around there. They ended up scoring 20. So this is another one of those situations where St. Francis isn't going to be able to score the basketball too much. And Butler, the only thing I worry about with this game, I took the total, I took it under 140.5. And the thing that I worry about with this game, and I almost jumped around into the team totals on this, was Butler scoring, 90 some points or something. And I'm worried about that. I am worried about that. If they're in the 80s, they can that leaves Butler to score. I mean, St. Francis to score, in the 30s. Is it the third? Hold on. I'm sorry, my math messed up. So Butler scores 80. That leaves them to score in the 30s, but Butler can't score more than 80 points. This is going to be a tough one, man. The more I think about this game, what's up, RD? How you doing, bro? The more I think about this game, I probably should have went team total on this, on Butler. And let me take a look and see where that was. I was looking at the team totals early this morning before I put the plays in. I did take Butler first half minus 9.5 though. I thought that was a good number. They should be up by more than that at the half. And this line hasn't really moved that much, I don't think. Let me just pull up FanDuel, because that's where I put everything in at. In college, I put it in FanDuel. Other things I use Caesars. So FanDuel, this game is at all right. I don't like FanDuel. I don't like how they have it set up. All right, so if we get a team totals on this, 80.5 Wow. Okay, they have Butler at 80.5 and St. Francis at 60.5. Um, my thoughts here that is that Butler doesn't reach that 60, but I'm really worried about. I mean, St. Francis doesn't reach that 60, but I'm worried about Butler hitting over that 80. But Butler's not a really big scoring team, so I don't know. I think this is an under game. It screamed under at me as soon as I looked at it. It reached up and got smack, smack, smack right in the face. So I grabbed the under. I grabbed what my first gut feeling was, and that was under 140.5. So that's where we stand. You know, if you look at these two teams, Butler just played a game in Penn State the other day, and I had the under in that game, and it was around 139, I believe. It was a low number, and they ended up scoring in the first half. Penn State, this was when Penn State was popping threes left and right. So, and I knew that wasn't gonna stand up. So, um, the first half ended at 59, and then the second half, the scoring picked up. They ended up scoring like 70 some points. So, but at that point, it got to 130. I got a little sweaty on that one, but I expect the same type of situation here in this game with St. Francis as Butler played in New Orleans in the first game of the season, where they won 89-53. But I'm thinking now they've got a couple games under their belt. You know, they'll end up shutting St. Francis down. St. Francis won't get that 50. So that's my thought process on this game here. I I'm not even really going to mention St. Francis much because unless some act of God happens and they're able to penetrate this Butler defense and get past it, then we might have a problem as far as that total goes. But I just don't see it happening. This Butler team, I think the highest scoring game that they played so far was 157, and that was against Cornell, and that was 80-77. That was just one of those games where you had a Cornell team out of the Ivy League. I'm sorry, St. Francis. St. Francis. Damn. I'm all messed up. My apologies. Damn it. Give me a minute to collect my thoughts, guys. I apologize. I just got off the phone with my daughter's school, so my mind's racing. Talking about payments and refunds and this and that and this and that and account numbers and where it's coming from, where it's going to, blah blah blah. So anyway, all right. So let's go back to this St. Francis. I expect this to be more like their first game against St. Bonaventure's, where the Bonnies. The Bonnies aren't that good of a team this year as we're used to seeing, and that game ended 71-58. St. Francis took the L on that, and that's kind of where I expect this, but I kind of think that we get 10 more points out of Butler. So maybe we get an 81-58 game here, and that'd be perfect for me. I'd be happy with that. So that's what I'm kind of looking for in this Butler game. It's at 6:30 Eastern today, just so you guys know. It's kind of early. Yeah, Bob, I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to relax. Normally I am relaxed, but I'm a little wound up today, man. I've had some things going on. What's going on, Razor Sharp, my guy, my brother? What's good, man? Danny Lopez, good, chilling, bro. Everything's well. Everything's well. All right, so let's move on. Move on to this next game. Like I said, I like the under 140.5. I'm really surprised that it hasn't gone down. To be honest with you, I don't know if that worries me or not. If it went up, I wouldn't be worried. But sitting at the same spot, it kind of worries me. I don't know why. It's just me, just the way I am. All right, so let me pull my card up here. Next game that I'm on, like I said, I took Butler first half -9.5. I think they should just set the tone early with this team and kind of cruise on them. And I'm hoping that they get into the second half and just go on cruise control. So next game, Boston U. I got this at the first half at -7.5. Uh, Apologize. I'm looking down for this game now. You can get this at first half at 9.5, which I knew that was going to go up. That was one of the games that I wanted to make sure I got as soon as that line came out, because we're talking about a Hartford team who's moving up to Division 3 next year. I mean, not even skipping it. They're skipping a division down. That's crazy. It's craziness. Like, how do you get these kids to play? When your coach walks off, you're not even sending trainers to games. I mean, I don't understand it, but they do have a win under their belt. So, and they're playing as an independent, where I think last year they played in the America East or the Northeast. I can't remember which one. I believe it was the America East. So, um, now they're an independent. Next year they're going down to Division 3, and I just don't see. This Boston team, they're sitting at sorry about that. They're sitting at 2-1 out of the Patriot League. They've beaten Johnson and Wales. What's that? A cooking school? Connecticut and Northeastern. Northeastern. They played Northeastern. Northeastern won. Northeastern beat them by 9. Connecticut beat them by 29, maybe something like that. Yeah, I think it was 29. So you know, Boston isn't the. Did I say Northeastern? See, there I go, man. I get things in my head. Boston's not a bad team. You know, they beat Northeastern out of the Colonial, which it's not a tough thing. We won money on Northeastern yesterday, so Northeastern's not an elite team out of the Colonial, but they're not slouches. So I kind of gives Boston a little bit of street cred in my mind when I see them beating a Colonial team. Being that they got whooped up by Connecticut, but there's not many schools outside of the blue chips and the blue chip type conferences that are going to hang with Connecticut anyway. So um, yeah, I just don't see what this Hartford team has to play with. They're lacking a lot of players that just took off, and a new head coach that's been there for what, a week. So I just don't really see how Hartford. They beat Linden State the other day, the first game with the new coach. So. And then they lost to St. Francis, the St. Francis team we just talked about. So I just don't see them hanging with Boston. The number in the first half at 7.5, I liked it a lot. I think that they come out and they're leading this by like 10 at the half. I don't know about the full game number. Not saying that Boston can't beat them by 20 points, but it's not like Hartford's going to roll over. It's just a matter of coaching and depth, and that's where Boston definitely has the upper hand in this game, in the coaching and the depth. So that's where I stand on this game. I did get it at 7.5. I would take it at this point at 9.5. I'm just looking at this Hartford team and how they played the game against St. Francis. They were down by 11, and I think this Boston team is pretty comparable to St. Francis. They will end up playing. Um, I'm pretty sure that they end up playing. I think they're in the now. Boston's in the Patriot. That's right, and yeah. So I don't know. Boston won't play St. Francis, but I would like to see those two teams play. To be honest with you, so I think this game's comparable to what we saw. You know, if you look at the stats and the scoring line on that St. Francis Hartford game, I think this is a pretty similar matchup. Next game I have on my card is Elon This is another Colonial team. I love, you're gonna hear me betting a lot of Colonial teams this year. And Elon's a bottom feeder in the Colonial, but they're one of those teams that's just scrappy. They're scrappy, man. It's crazy. Like unless you see them play, you're like, oh, Elon, what? Who's that? Never even heard of them. But I'm familiar with them because I do follow the Colonial Athletic Association. So um, and they're playing in a North Dakota team that just isn't good. In all honesty, they're not good. They did beat Incarnate Word, but I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know how much cred you can give them for that win. They got blown out by Creighton by what 35, and then by another 30 by Pacific. Elon by no means is in the realm of a Creighton, but I mean, I don't know how really good this Pacific team is. I don't really follow these West Coast teams too much, man. But they seem to be pretty good from what I looked at last night. So I mean, I wouldn't put Elon up with Pacific, but I do think Elon takes care of business today, and I think you're getting a short number at 6.5. I think they can win this game by 10 points, and but I don't want any of those full game shenanigans, so I take the first half, and you can get that first half right now at. Let me pull that up for you guys. Since I've been sleeping here and not putting the banners up, you can get that first half at 3.5 still. It's at a at minus 106 at FanDuel. So that's a play that I took, and I actually put it in my parlay that I posted early this morning. So another game that I was looking at and I really wanted to take it really bad. Yo, what's up, Walter Trotter the third, my brother? What's good? Don Play. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here. All right, so this game right here, this Charleston game, Charleston and Davidson. Davidson. I still believe Davidson's takes a lot of money, a lot, and the lines you get on Davidson, like from what I've seen so far, especially the first half, is I bet against them because I think you're just getting people betting on Davidson because of the name, So as far as Charleston goes, Charleston's a team that I had them first half against North Carolina. They covered for me, and it's another CAA team that I really like, and I think they take care of business against I think they take care of business today against Davidson. So let's take a look at Davidson. Davidson is 3-0 though, but Davidson's also played a school, Guilford. I couldn't even tell you who Guilford is. They beat them by 23. And Wright State. This is the one that I won where I bet against them, but I bet against them first half, the Wright State game, and they ended up beating Wright State in a high scoring game, 102-97. And then they come back and they beat VMI military. VMI 75-71, so they squeak out a win there. And this isn't a very good Virginia military team, so I just really think that Charleston's played a tougher schedule. They played Richmond. They knocked Richmond off. I had them against Richmond. I had them in the first half against North Carolina. I had them full game also because the line was 20. I think they ended up losing by 18. And Chattanooga, I didn't bet Charleston against Chattanooga, but they served up Chattanooga by 6 points. So I really like this Charleston team. I think they're underrated. I think you're getting a value with them here, and especially on a first. I didn't even see the first half line. I really wish it was out when I put my plays in last night. It's at -1.5 at -105. I would have jumped all over that one. So I really like that play. I do like the 3.5, but me personally, I don't like betting pool games, man. I just don't like what goes on. You never know what happens at the end of these games. So I would recommend that first half -1.5. But you can take the full game too. I think they win the game. And I think they win it by 4 or more. So it's not not something that I would be against, or I would say, hey man, don't bet that straight up. So we'll keep it moving here. And the next game I took was St. Joe's. Let me pull that one up so I can get you the lines that we've got going on. The current lines on this St. Joe's game. Oh shit. Dead air, G. I don't like that. Not talking, but I just trying to get my act together here. Okay, St. Joe's is playing Albany, and the Albany's another one American East team. St. Joe's A10 kind of been slumping ever since Phil Martelli left, and it's been a team that I've kind of stayed away from, but I do pick them out in spots, and I'm trying to find that game now on the full game lines. The full game right now is St. Joe's -7.5, and the first half spread is 4.5. So I got that last night at the same numbers. These numbers have not moved, which is just surprising to me. But I mean, in this game right here, I can see why they haven't moved, because I think it's a pretty sharp line. Pretty sharp line. I'm taking St. Joe's just on who they play. Playing Houston at home and then beating Lafayette the other day, and being that they're at home again tonight against Albany, and it's a 2-2 Albany team, and I think St. Joe's can pick up their third win here. Albany so far, they've played on their schedule. Union, New York, beat them by 12. I don't even know who the hell Union, New York is, to be honest with you. It's not a team that I'm familiar with, but I can't tell you anything about them. Sienna's a team that I'm a little familiar with, because I do like the Metro, and they got beat up by Sienna. Sienna whooped them up by 13, and then they played Immaculata. That's another school that's right up the street right here, between Philly and Delaware. I think it's outside of Westchester, and Albany beat them by 30, almost 30 points. I think 27 or something like that. So, but Immaculata is not a school that I don't. Probably haven't even heard of them. They used to be an all girls school. Now they're co-ed and so forth. So, and then earlier this season, the first game of the season, they lost to Towson. Now, that was a good game. That was a close game, and Townsend's another one of those teams out of the CAA. I ended up betting on Townsend earlier this week, and took a win on that. And Townsend's 3-0, so they did play Townsend pretty close. But to be honest with you, Albany and Townsend match up pretty well. So I could see that being a close game. But I think St. Joe's, we have the edge here in the guards, and film. And I really think that we get a first half win here. I don't like the full game line at 7.5, though. I think that's asking a little much for St. Joe's. So I would expect them to come out in their home gym in McGonigal Hall, and just try and Michael Hagan Hall. Change the name. Michael Hagan Hall, and they take set the tone, but I think Albany adjusts at half, and you have a closer game in the second half. So that's my thoughts on that. I wouldn't suggest anybody playing the full game. I don't suggest you playing Albany either, and taking Albany in the full game. So I don't know. The only suggestion, the only thing that I could say is what I took, and that was St. Joe's first half. So next game, we already talked about Charleston. I have UC Riverside and Creighton. I took I think this is going to be a high scoring game. Let me pull that game up here. UC Riverside and Creighton. You know what? I'll just pull them up this way, because there's just so many games. It's just like, wow. All right, so This game is in Creighton, and you have Riverside scooting over to the Midwest. Skipping over two time zones, and it's a Creighton team that Riverside really is going to get. They should get blown off the court, but I didn't take any sides on this. I just took the total, and I took the total because you have a Riverside team that's 74. It's 74.9 in pace. That's 46 in the country. That's a pretty fast team, and um, their offensive rating is 98.1. That's not the best in the world, but their true shooting's 51%. So they're making half their buckets. So even if they make if they make half their possessions, they're gonna get you to where that number's at. And you have Creighton's going to get theirs on this UC Riverside team. I mean, they're UC Riverside teams, not even excuse me, is not even close to. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to mute you real quick. UC Riverside is not even close as far as being able to hold this 14th ranked in offensive rating, 14th ranked Creighton team down. Creighton's going to score, and I expect them to score big, to be honest with you. Uh, they're averaging 10.7 threes a game, and they're shooting at 66.7% beyond the arc. That's insane, man. So I I really think that they whoop them up pretty bad. So let's take a look and see if we can find the line on this game right now. And it's crazy because when I go through FanDuel, it doesn't show me like that I bet on the game on the first page. If I bet the first half, I have to click on the game and that'll show me a bet on the first half. So anyway, this total is at 140.5 right now, and the first half total is 66.5. This is another game that hasn't friggin' moved, man. I mean, it went up 1 point, but I mean, I expected this game to go up more. The only thing that I can think of is that it's going to stop us from getting this first half number is Riverside. So I'm hoping we get over this number. And the reason I took the first half in this because you're going to get, if you look at the first half lines and the full game lines, when I bet an under, I don't want anything to do with the first half unless I really really like the defense on both teams. So because you're going to get a higher number in the second in the set in this you're getting a lower number in the first half than the second half. So this is 140 and a half, and um you're getting 66 and a half as a total in the first half, and the second half total points is 73 and a half. So I like to take where I can get the value, and I'm thinking that's going to be in this first half at 66 and a half, because I think you're going to get a Riverside team that wants to come in here. They're going to want to try and score some baskets and show Creighton that we're not going to roll over for you. And I really think that this number is in this like 73, 75 when we get to halftime, because Creighton's going to get theirs. Believe that. So, we could see this game most likely maybe 48 to 48-50 on Creighton in the first half to 70, I mean to 30, 30 to 28, something like that. I just think that maybe in the 20s. So at the same time, it's gonna this game, I think the first half's good value at 66 and a half over. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm having a really shitty show today, and I know I am. I just I literally wanted to start this show at 3:45 Eastern today, and I went to turn it on, and I realized I didn't schedule it last night, so I had to schedule it. And I had just gotten off the phone with my daughter's college, and I've got a lot of shit going on in my personally that I'm just trying to sort through here. So you have to bear with me for a second. But here comes another game that I love. This is a team I love, man. I love this team, Hofstra. I love them. I don't love them going over to the West Coast though. I don't love it. And I'm probably stupid. I wouldn't recommend tailing me on this play, to be honest with you. I took them because I just know this Hofstra squad, and I like betting on them. And uh, I'm kind of. Is this game on the West Coast? Yeah, it's on the West Coast. Let me pull it up just to make sure that it's going to be where it's supposed to be at, and it's not like one of these tournaments or whatever. So give me a second here because I don't remember. I don't remember. I got my notes here, but my notes I can't even read my notes right now. All right, Hofstra, they're playing San Jose State, and yes, this game is in San Jose, so they are traveling the full distance from New York to California. Now, Hofstra's three right now on the game. The line is 1.5 at the half. These two teams are, you have a faster paced team with San Jose, but you have a better um I don't even know how to say this because I don't know if I would recommend this. This is just a play that I took. I probably should have left it off my card, but I just love betting the CAA. I've got two bets on the Colonial today already. Hofstra's been money for me all year, so I have to ride them. But nothing in this stat line tells me that Hofstra is going to win this game. Nothing. I mean, you've got a better defensive team in San Jose State, but at the same time, when you look at San Jose State, you have to look at who they played. They played Alabama State, Bethesda, Georgia Southern. They haven't really played any teams where Hofstra, they've played at least teams that are, that have been in the tournament, like, George Washington, Iona, Princeton. They played a tougher schedule. So the numbers might be a little skewed. I mean, I'm not going off of last year's numbers when I tell you numbers. When I tell you numbers, I'm going off of this year, through 3 games. So that's where I stand. But I just think this Hofstra team's more battle tested, so to speak, as much as you can be through 3 games. And I think that I took the first half because I think that you're going to get a San Jose team who's not used to playing a team like Hofstra, and they're going to need to adjust. And it's going to take them time to adjust. So I'm taking Hofstra in the first half, and I took them in the first half by 1.5. I think they're up at the half. So that's where I stand all the games I played today. That's my opinions on them and why I took them. So I appreciate that. Wham, hit the like button. Appreciate that, Don. Let me see what you got here. Look at the chat and see what you're all saying. Let me asking who you on today. Razor Pro, he just popped in here for a sec, bro. UCR will try to slow the game down. Yeah, they most definitely should try to slow the game down. But I mean, that's F Donahue. I appreciate that, man. But you know, Hofstra's not a team that's gonna be worried about that. They're gonna have they play in a really tough conference, and they're in New York. They're playing these bigger schools all the time throughout their schedule. They haven't played any sucker schools, so to speak, like a lot of teams put on their resume here just to begin the season and collect wins. So when I look at this Hofstra team, they're 3-0 and they're legitimate. They're a legitimate 3-0, and I think this is a good game. I don't want to bet it. If this was on neutral ground or in New York in Hofstra, I'd be all over Hofstra. Even though I'm looking at these numbers and the numbers are favoring San Jose State, but I just don't think I think San Jose State now. I don't think they're a bad team. I think San Jose State's a decent team. They're going to be up there in the Mountain West. So this is where I wish I had Big Boss. This is what Big Boss news, man. So, but we're gonna have him here probably this weekend or next week. Hopefully next week, he'll start being on the show with me. So you'll get that other opinion, and I can refer to him on this game because I'd really love to hear what his take on this game would be. To be honest with you, because my take is, I'm an East Coast guy, man. I'm biased. But I'm biased because I know this Hofstra team. I've seen them play, so I like them first half. I'm going to take this bet 99.9% of the time, but I'm not going to take it full game because I think San Jose State can adjust and these two teams are very comparable. When it's all said and done. So I think this is a really close game. I wish this was a game that we could watch on TV tonight, but I'll have to figure out if there's a way to stream it. You need the first half total, Gilberto. I gave you one the other day and it sucked, dude. It friggin' lost. I apologize, bro. The only first half total I have for you is the over in the Creighton. That's the only first half total that I played was and I can't give you something that I didn't play. So let me pull my card back up. And that was 66 and a half, or 65 and a half. Did it go up to 66 and a half? I know we just spent like 5 minutes on that game, and I can't even remember if it went up or if it's exactly where it's at. There it is. All right, so right now that total for the first half is 66 and a half. I got it at 65 and a half. I still like it at 66 and a half. I think it's a 70 plus point first half. So there you go. Hopefully I can give you a winner this time, Gilberto, because I think the last one, I think I gave you the Houston game and it didn't make it. And it sucks because that was my only first half total that I didn't hit that day. So my apologies, bro. DJ Big Boss. Man, I was hoping to get you on here. I was talking about Hofstra, San Jose State, cash that Penn State. Yes, sir. I was hoping to get you on here because I was talking about the last game on my card, the Hofstra and San Jose State. Your Mountain West over there. I would love to heard your thoughts behind it because you've got a 3-0 San Jose State team here, and a 3-0 Hofstra team. But the difference is this San Jose State team has a defensive rating of 85.6. That's 74th in the nation. It doesn't scare me that much, but because they're going against a Hofstra team who has 132.1 offensive rating, that's 10th in the country. So I think Hofstra is going to be able to beat that defense. And another thing is, like I said, Hofstra's battle tested so far. They played schools that have been in the tournament, and they could. I don't know if they'll be there this year, but they're going to be fighting, and you'll hear their names in their conference tournaments come March, like Iona. Rick Pitino's team. They beat them. They beat George Washington the other night. They beat Princeton. So they're not playing slouches where, like I said, I know I repeat myself. San Jose has played Alabama State, Bethesda, Georgia Southern. I mean, come on, man. I don't see anybody that's even in the league that Hofstra I think the closest thing that I could see it would, as far as a game goes, would be the Hofstra Princeton game and the Georgia Southern San Jose State game. That's the only thing that I can kind of base off of seeing. And San Jose State whooped up Georgia Southern pretty damn good. So, but I don't know if Georgia Southern would beat Princeton. I'm just trying to play things in my head. So let's see what you're on here, Don Play. You're on Tennessee State, Austin P. I didn't look at that game. VCU -3. VCU played last night, guy. Are you sure on that VCU? Hofstra -2.5. Is that Hofstra -2.5 full game? I don't know if I'd play that full game, man. I don't know, just because they're going over to that West Coast, man. To be honest with you, I'm kind of hoping that the reason I took it first half, and I don't like taking teams going West Coast. I don't like taking them first half, but the reason I took that first half was because I think San Jose is going to get stunned by Hofstra at the beginning of the game. I think they're going to need to adjust. They're going to see, oh shit, we're playing a team today, and they're going to need to adjust to that. And San Jose, I think, will make the adjustments. So, but Big Boss says fade San Jose. There it is. Fade him. He knows him better than I know. He knows him better than I know. Hey, DJ, Hofstra, man, this is where if we had Dommy Gunn in here, man, he could talk some Hofstra stories to you. It's where his daughter went. So, um, this is a Hofstra team I really like, but I'm partial with the CAA. So, Dom, I don't know. I mean, Dom Play, I don't know what you mean VCU. VCU played last night, so I don't know what you're talking about. So you're going to take Hofstra full game? I mean, you can take what you want to take. I mean, it is what it is. Marlo's cool, so cool. What's good, bro? Yeah, man. I laid low for a bit. I'm back here. DJ Big Boss and I are going to be doing a show. Waiting. He's on the mend, but once he gets better, I mean, he's done. If you saw the, I guess I didn't put the overlay in that he did, but it's pretty damn cool. And I didn't use the intro either, Big Boss. Man, I've had a day today, bro. I've had a day today. I didn't wake up till late because I was up till like 4 or 5 a.m. getting these bets in, and then as soon as I woke up, I was on the phone with people. So, what you think about Arizona first half minus 15.5? Well, let's take a look at that game. I'm more than happy to take a look at that game. I love when you guys ask me about games like that. So let's take a look. Let me pull it up. Pull up the Pac-12. We've got Arizona playing Utah Tech. All right. So Utah Tech. Let me see. They actually played Washington last, and they lost by 11. And they got beat by Nevada by 13. This is pay attention here. You're gonna see. Actually, you'll probably be like, "Man, this is how you handicap, man. I'm out. I don't want nothing to do with you." But Arizona. Let me see. Arizona has played Southern University. Southern University and Nichols. They don't really have any competition that they played. So, I really don't have an opinion on this game. I do know that it's an Arizona home game, so it's in the McHale Center. We have an Arizona team who's averaging so far out of 2 games, 2 games. They're averaging 8 3-pointers to Utah Tech's 6.7. The percentages are 42% for Arizona, 31% for Utah Tech. I would expect Utah Tech to be shooting way more threes today. And if they are 31.7 3-point shooters, you can bet that they're not going to be making many. But here's the thing. It's going to be a fast-paced game. Utah Tech will most likely try and slow it down, but they don't have the personnel to be able to contain Arizona. So, and Arizona's first in pace. There's 86, and they're first in pace. Now, as far as offensive ratings go, they're 29th at 123.2, where the defensive rating for Utah Tech is 110, and their offensive rating's 101, and the defensive rating for Arizona is 88.9. They're averaging 13 turnovers per game for Utah Tech, where, Arizona needs to protect the ball. They're averaging 21.5 turnovers per game. They're both averaging a little over 6 steals per game. I'll tell you what's really standing out to me here is Arizona on the offensive boards is terrible. I mean, terrible. They're ranked 5th in the nation in rebounds at 45.5 per game. But their offensive rebounds are only getting 7. You're getting 45 rebounds per game, and you're only getting 7 on the offensive end. That's terrible, man. They need to tighten that up because once conference play comes, they're going to be exposed if they can't start dominating those offensive boards. Yeah. All right. Back to the question again. Okay, VCU. That's right. That's the loser bracket at the Barclays Center. VCU. Don play. Who? Hold on. Who was asking me about this? Oh, about this Arizona game. I just lost it. I got all talking about myself here. Feed just small schools. Did somebody ask me about Arizona? I could have swore somebody asked me about Arizona, or was I just rambling on about that for nothing? I don't see it now. So, oh, there it is. Marler's so cool, good. Yeah, I mean, the only way I could look in this game is Utah, Arizona minus 15.5 first half, but that's a big number. It's a big number. I don't like laying that big of a number. I'll lay it with Houston until they lose, but other than that, I try to stay away from numbers that high for the first half because you never know what you're going to get. The teams come out, they got to feel each other out. This Utah State team could be throwing a defense that Arizona hadn't seen, and then Arizona has to adjust. So I kind of stay away from high totals. I mean, high numbers like that. VCU full game state. Don, you might want to rethink that, bro. VCU's starting guard broke his arm yesterday. He was out. If I'm doing anything on that game, which I'm not, I would do the under. And I know that Pitt Michigan game went over, but I tell you they'd score yesterday 60, 58, 60. They scored 60. So, or 50, yeah, whatever they scored. But I was on point there. I just didn't expect Michigan to score in the fucking 90s. That caught me off guard. So I lost that bet. Yeah, I mean, I would do that too. I mean, I don't get me wrong, Marlo's so cool. If I was forced to bet this game, it would be Arizona first half. It would be. But in a situation like this, I would most likely rather take the 28 in the full game, just because of the fact that Arizona is going to want to just smash the hell out of it, just like any other college team. They're going to smash the hell out of people, because they think it gets them higher in the rankings, So, and Arizona being at 14th. Oh, here we go. I got my first porn comments here. I don't even know how to get rid of these things. I'm gonna have to look into that, but there we go. We'll block that ass. Get you out of there, bro. So that's great. That's great. That's how you know you've made it, man. When those pop up. All right, y'all. I'm done. If you have any other questions about any other games, I'll give you my opinion. Been on here a little longer than I thought I'd be, about another 45 minutes or so, 50 minutes. So I appreciate everyone coming out. Please do me a favor, like and subscribe and comment below there. Definitely comment, man. I want to hear comments. I want to hear what you guys want, what you guys, what you don't like, So do me that favor. Let's cash some tickets today. I will be back. Let's see what tomorrow's schedule is looking like. Cab said he wants to come on tomorrow, so there's a big slate. So how about we do this tomorrow, 3:45 Eastern time, and I will see you all then, and hang out and let me see if I can't find this what DJ Big Boss had set up for me, because it was pretty dope, man, to be honest with you. So anyway, I'll figure it out and play it all for you tomorrow. But once again, I appreciate y'all. Have a good day. Be safe. Peace out.